It says meeting is now streaming live on customer streaming service. Oh, uh-oh. There we go. It worked that time. Um, I think we're live.
You are correct, sir. I will put on my hat. I will put on my hat and hide this laptop.
Good deal. Okay, yeah, it didn't work the first two times we did it,
Oh,
but worked this time, so there we go. So we're good.
so yeah. Let me know if my thing goes out of whack. It just come up your internet connection for a second that time.
Okay. Hang on a second. Let me text him, make sure it's working. So, hey, how's it going, everybody?
It's,
Well, here we are. welcome back to chapter 18 this week of the DC Alliance podcast. We're doing our first live stream through this service. I'm used to doing some live streams, but definitely not this way. So it was new to me. It worked. Didn't work the first three times we tried it, but now it's working this time, which is great. So here we are. And with me, as always, my co-host, my boy T-Bone. How you doing?
Pretty good, Greg. Just trying to get through the week. Can wait for the weekend. Excited for SDS and the boys. But more than that, we got a lot of news last week, and I can't wait to get into it. But before that, we should probably plug the network that we're a part of and is allowing us to do the live streaming.
That's a great idea. Let's go ahead and do that. We are part of the Geek Ultimate Alliance Network, where you can check out shows dropping every day of the week. We have 8 shows right now, 7 days a week, Monday through Sunday. Mondays you get World's Finest True Believers. Tuesdays is the DC Alliance podcast that you're listening to right now. Wednesdays is the Marvel Alliance podcast. Thursday is going to be the Star Wars Alliance podcast or the bi-weekly show of Slice of Film. They kind of switch those up every week. I think we're going to do more Slice of Film in the future as well. Superhero discussions on Fridays. Come hang out with me and Travis again. We are just about to wrap up Superman the Animated Series, our first
Polls,
show we're
polls,
covering.
polls, 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 polls.
Polls are out there. That's right. So check out the polls we have online. He put out 12 different shows for
No,
you to choose from.
16.
Oh, did you pick the
16.
final four? I know because you
Yep.
said the fans
They
were going
were
to do four.
they were listeners. Yeah, they were
Okay.
listener.
Okay. So we got 16 now. So you got your choice of 16. We're going to narrow it down to the top four. Then after those four, we'll get the next one. So there we go. And I'm going to let Mr. Bone do all the math on that. Friday nights, you can check us out on Super Civil Servants podcast, streaming live on YouTube. Come interact with the show, have a good time. It's really fun. Audio for that drops on Saturdays, and then Saturdays and Sundays, you also get Weird Science, DC, and Marvel comics. We're covering just stuff currently going on in the comic book world right now. Just messaging me the day to ask him some recommendations for some stuff. I'm going to read Three Jokers after his show a couple weeks ago. It's going to be pretty fun. So, yeah, every single day you get to find something from us here, working hard. And then you want to tell them about our Patreon account as well, sir?
Yeah, I'll jump in there, Greg. We have a Patreon. $1 is just donations, helps keep the candles burning. And $5 you get ad-free episodes, early access episode, and Patreon only exclusives. Last week, myself, Greg, and Chris Balga from Marvel Alliance and World Finest True Believers got together and just asked each other some questions about Marvel and DC. Kind of missed our other partner in crime there, Snell, for that. But we will be having another one. I think we might be doing one tomorrow, Wednesday night, actually.
Yeah, come up soon, right?
So we're going to get those out to patrons and more exclusive talk. And after superhero discussions this week, look for a special drop for you.
Oh, you cut out a little bit. Can't hear your audio. You with me, brother? Oh no, Travis is gone. I'm not sure the special audio he was talking about dropping because he hadn't even dropped that on me yet. And if he has, I forgot because I tend to forget a lot of things. I had to be reminded of them. You there? You're
I
moving
don't
now.
know. Am I?
I hear you.
I'm
Yes,
back.
you're here. Okay.
Yeah. We're going to have 4 episodes of superhero discussions drop for the patrons
Oh
early.
yes, that's right.
Yeah. And then
Okay.
we're going to get together and do a special 5th one that we've been planning pre Geek Ultimate Alliance. So that'll be fun. Yeah. So, yeah, we're
Okay.
going to try and pump out more content for the patrons. Special thanks and appreciation for anyone that is a patron. And also thanks for anyone that has downloaded any episodes.
Yeah, 100% agree, buddy. Well, without further ado, man, you want to go ahead and get into the meat and potatoes of tonight's show?
Yes,
Start with a
Greg.
little news.
I gotta say, listeners, I was talking to Greg about us reviewing a show or talking about the boys because DC used to own that property initially. But we've been getting so much news that we haven't really had to dip into that well yet,
Hmm.
Greg. And it started for us with Boris Kit dropped the information And James Gunn followed up shortly thereafter of we're getting a Peacemaker series based on the character that John Cena is playing in the Suicide Squad.
Very, very interesting to me because just me personally watching John Cena in the movies he's acted in, I haven't seen him in anything that kind of blows me away enough to where they'd see him in a role and be like, oh, we've got to get this guy, under more stuff behind the camera more. Now, that doesn't mean he's not going to do a good job. I don't want to judge until I see it, but just my personal history with Cena, I've never seen anything that he's been phenomenal in acting. So it's interesting to see what they saw in this. You with me? Did you freeze up?
Have you seen Blockers?
No, I have not seen Blockers.
Okay, well, watch Blockers first and then come talk to me.
Okay.
Because he is amazing in that.
Okay. And, the thing is, a lot of WWE actors, I mean, WWE, I'm not saying it's not a sport, but it is acting. There's a big element of acting in it. That's why they have so many television shows and the WWE network and everything.
Wait. Greg, I'll be the first one to say it. It's not a sport.
Okay.
I'll straight up
it's
say
physically
it.
demanding.
Yes.
It can be very painful. It's not a sport because you do know the outcome before you walk in.
Apologies to anyone. It's very risky. It's much more risky than sports because you're doing it for like 300 days a year and there's not much recovery time and you're off again. You got to do bump bruises. It's very legendary. The people that are in it, like, they deserve a lot of credit, and a lot of them are former athletes. But competition is when you don't know the outcome. Right. You don't know who's going to win, and anything's possible. Not scripting it so that Rey Mysterio comes in and beats Undertaker or Big Show or Brock Lesnar. That's not going to happen in sports. I'm sorry. You may think it might happen, but that will not happen. You won't get your happy ending like that. The Golden State Warriors will crush you if they were at full strength with Kevin Durant. So it's that kind of thing. Like, you gotta I love it. Attitude Era, big fan. So yeah, but John Cena, his comedic chops are so good, and there's a lot of people that said that during this shoot during Suicide Squad. They said that the person that made them laugh the most is John Cena. He had them in stitches all the time because after they would end, like they would cut, he would keep going as a character for like a whole there was a lot of ad libbing and like comedy by him and improv. So. I believe it because I really enjoy it. I think he's really funny. Like I said, you should watch Blockers this weekend. I bet you would really like it. It's good, like funny comedy, and he was fantastic in that. I couldn't get over how good he was. And same thing in the Amy Schumer movie that LeBron was in. He was in that as well. I think he was maybe might not have been that one that LeBron was in, but he was in an Amy Schumer movie. I'm not sure which one.
Yeah, I'm not sure which one either. I know. I'm trying to think. I know I've seen him.
Funny in that.
He was in the very end of that movie, Daddy. What was it? The one with Mark Wahlberg in it. Yeah. Yeah. And the thing is, like I said, with most actors that come out of the WWE, they're already actors. It's just a different kind of acting. I've seen some of them come out and just fall flat on their face. Some of them come out and don't start as well and get better as they go. The Rock is a great example of that. I think his acting skills are better now than they were when he first started acting, even though I do think Walking Tall, one of his first movies, is one of his best movies. That's an amazing movie. But they do tend to get better, so maybe he is getting better. And you're talking about him being the funny guy. The quote in this article here on Hollywood Reporter says, "Peacemaker is an opportunity to delve into the current world issues through the lens of a superhero, supervillain, and world's biggest douchebag." Said in Gunn's statement.
Well, it's Captain America, a douchey version of Captain America.
Yeah. So
and
pretty fun.
I really think John Cena's going to nail this. And James Gunn is writing and directing episodes, including he's directing the pilot. So apparently he did this in the downtime during COVID. He wrote the series because he really enjoyed the character, and it was something they asked him. He said DC came to him and said, if you could do a TV show but any character from the Suicide Squad, which one would you do first? And I was like, I've been having ideas about Peacemaker. And bam, he went with that.
It's going to be a really interesting character to see. I want to see the popularity of the character after Suicide Squad. I think he'll have that kind of Captain Boomerang popularity where everybody who watches that movie is like, oh, I like Captain Boomerang. Like this movie, I didn't like this about this movie or this about this movie, but I like Captain Boomerang, And I think that's kind of what they're going for with this, which is fine because I love the characters like that. It's talking about. I didn't know Cena. He's got a lot coming up lately or soon. He's going to be in the new Fast and the Furious movie
Yeah,
coming up. I didn't realize that. And
he's Vin Diesel's brother, like Dom's brother. Don't even ask. Don't know. They're like, well, they passed logic a long time ago. Like basically, Hobbs and Shaw was a superhero movie. Like let's not even begin to talk about that and the outrageousness. And now apparently they're going space, so they're just gone way past the realm of
so
sanity.
he's Dom's brother, who is all about family the whole time in every one of these movies, and we've never seen his brother before. Is that what we're
Well,
saying?
maybe he's not his brother, but I thought I'd seen a
Yeah,
trailer where he said that he was his brother. So
it's possible.
I don't even know, Greg. Like those show, like I'll watch the movies. I won't go out of my way to watch those fast movies in theaters. Some like if I'll see them, like I watched the last one in theaters, I
Mhm.
think. But it's something for me to turn off my brain for a couple hours and just watch outrageous car things.
Yeah, it's pretty unbelievable. You got to turn off the. I mean, you got to like watching a superhero movie. You got to just kind of turn off your disbelief and just be like, okay, this is
Yeah.
happening. Yes, they're actually jumping, across towers with cars, all this stuff. I get that. It says he's the author that just talking about Cena is the author of the best-selling Elbow Grease picture books, rep by ICM Partners. Picture books, is that comic? Does he do his own comics?
I'm assuming it was kids' books because
Okay,
like he got a lot of "You Can't See Me" fans.
right.
And yes, I'm doing the "You Can't See Me" right now.
Oh, they can see you doing
I
it though.
know they can see
Yeah,
me doing it, which is the ironic thing about this whole thing. Uh, no, I think he's going to nail it, Greg. He's been improving. He
right.
was in Bumblebee. I haven't watched Bumblebee, so I can't speak to how good he is in that movie. But I haven't seen that. But there's another starring role. He's been getting a lot of roles, and he's been wrestling. He hasn't been wrestling at all.
Right.
So I mean, like he's made the transition, and I do think he's the second best uh, wrestling actor. Sorry, Dave Batista, after The Rock. I
Oh,
think The
is
Rock is
Batista
number
even in
one.
consideration?
Batista's true shade at The Rock a couple weeks ago, saying like uh, he's The Rock's an action star and he's an actor.
Right.
Oh
Right,
my
because
god.
all his lines in Guardians of the Galaxy show that, don't they?
Yeah.
Oh, you don't want to get me started on this one, man.
Well,
Uh,
well, ask Tyrese how well it goes when you try to mess with The Rock or try
right.
to go against The Rock. He ruined you. So like, no, thank you.
Oh yeah, yeah. Did we get any kind of timeline for this?
That was the issue. People ran with first that was going to be pre that they didn't know first, and some people said it was going to be prequel. And James Gunn, because people wrote James Gunn being like, "Oh, well, Peacemaker's going to survive, awesome," and he was like, "No, there's no timeline yet." Uh, well, besides the fact that they're going to dive into the Peacemaker's past, but now if he does survive Suicide Squad, you can do a sort of a like past and present sort of thing at the same
Right.
time, two storylines. You can show his because there's a lot in the past to show about him, especially with his father and like everything. He got a really interesting past.
Hmm.
But I assume if he survives, you can tell a past and present story at the same time. Like something's happened in the present, something's happened in the past, something happened in the past. But if he didn't survive, then it's all going to have to be about the past, about him becoming Peacemaker and like his first mission or first couple of missions before he gets caught by Waller and Suicide Squad. So
Yeah.
it just depends on that. They don't want to give away what happens to the character in the movie. But my guess is that he survives after, like, if he's getting his own show, I think he survives.
Yeah, I think so too. Because they're already having talks about there's going to be a lot of deaths in this movie of some of the characters they're
Yeah,
introducing.
they said
They're
don't
just
get
going to be
attached.
one-offs, right? So, I mean, it's possible, but yeah, I think the fact that they are doing a show with him afterwards, it definitely seems like he's going to be a survivor. I mean, you wouldn't want, I personally wouldn't want to invest a ton of money into somebody that I knew, well, I couldn't
Well,
go move forward in
no,
the future with.
no. Let's see. I can't. Like, if you're giving me a prequel, Ben Affleck's Batman going up against Deathstroke, and we're not getting any more Ben Affleck after, then yeah, I can still handle it. I can still handle a 6 or 8 episode miniseries about that. So I
Right.
think that, I think it all depends on quality. Now, I think that you knowing that you're not like this character dies in present time, and you're not going to get much more than one miniseries might not bring you in or make you interested to go out and watch this right away. But
Right.
I think if this show is high quality, regardless, it will get people watching it at a certain point.
Hmm.
So
Well,
it's just about the quality of the show.
It's the Black Widow problem. I mean, imagine if Black Widow wasn't introduced in any movies until the Infinity Saga, like the Infinity War Endgame, and then she dies, and they say, "Oh, we're gonna have a series about her after she
No.
dies." It'd be kind of like that. I mean,
30,
like,
30, almost 30 movies, Greg, to movie number. Like,
well,
this
no,
is
no,
only his
I know.
second Suicide
Forget the
Squad.
number of movies. I'm saying just imagine she wasn't introduced until a movie or two before she died. And then you say, okay, well, she's dead, but we're going to have a prequel series about her. It wouldn't go over as well, I don't think. We have a deeper history of with Black Widow, so it's, it makes it a little more interesting to want to have her and to want to see more information about her. But yeah, once again, I think this all goes back to we're saying the same thing. I don't think that he's going to be killed in this movie.
No, and I
And
think that he's
that's
going to be
why they
great.
won't release whether it's going to be a prequel or after.
I'm calling it now. He's going to be your favorite new character from the Suicide Squad.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see any reason why it couldn't be. Like I said, I kind of hope it does. I'd like to see John Cena become a great actor. He entertained me in wrestling for years, and my wife loves him. So, guess what wife doesn't love John Cena? But, yeah, man, it'll be interesting. Is there any other news about the prequel or not the prequel?
Nope, that's it. That's all. That's all the stuff we got.
Okay.
He's been answering more fans on Twitter the last week or two. So it's interesting to see him being more active like that, and I do enjoy it. And I just can't wait for this movie. The teaser at Fandom, the behind the scenes at Fandom got me pumped for this movie big time.
Yeah, I wasn't as excited to see this movie. I'm really excited to see it now, just based on the characters that I saw and the practical effects they're using. It's going to be a pretty cool movie. I'm really excited for it. Captain Douchebag, I'm ready to see it.
If we're getting this show, this just brings up one other conversation too and discussion, Greg, is if we're getting this show, it seems like if you got a really good idea for a DC property in HBO Max, they'll let you do it. Because I mean, greenlighting Peacemaker like this, they want content. So I'd like to see a Black Canary miniseries, maybe one that eventually gets her running into the Green Arrow. Who knows? But
you want that? What? No way. No. Yeah, well, actually, speaking of shows, that kind of walks us right into our next segment here. We got some announcements about some shows and their not air dates, but dates are going to start filming on discussing films. Stargirl season 2 is aiming to begin filming in late October. Yeah. What do you think? Okay, so what, they're going to go another 13 episodes, you think, or have they not announced that yet?
They have not announced the episode count yet, so be very interested to see that. And also, we have Fallout stuff from Ray Fisher potentially happening at any point in time during their production. So who knows? But like I said before, Andrew Kreisberg was an integral part of both Arrow and Flash, and he was shown the door for misconduct, and his name still comes up on executive producers and stuff. And for Arrow, that the quality didn't suffer. So I really excited for Stargirl, Greg. You know how much we enjoy that. We loved every episode. You can go back and listen to our reviews. I think we reviewed every episode on DC Alliance. I'm pretty sure we did.
We did, yeah.
Yeah, we started the same week that the pilot came out.
Yeah, I think that may have been our first week. Yeah.
So but we're very excited to see where it goes. A lot of teases. So yeah, just excited for them to get back. And the same thing goes with Doom Patrol. Season 3 begins filming in January. We were left out of cliffhanger for that, so I just can't wait to watch that. But it looks like we might not see that until I don't know. Could be the following year. Could be 2022 before we see Doom Patrol again, or late 2021.
You think so? I mean, just if there's nothing pending because of COVID or no kind of delays. You think
Well, if it's not filming
January,
yeah, you might need a full year depending on the VFX, and I don't know. It all depends.
Yeah.
On the production value you're putting in there. If you're doing CW churns them out weekly, so it all depends on resources to how perfect you want to make things look.
Well, I'm looking at these lists, and it's actually Doom Patrol is the only non-CW show on this list. Everything that's the HBO show. Everything else is CW show. That's on here, which is crazy. Because I know that HBO Max is having a lot of stuff coming out pretty soon, so I would imagine they're going to start announcing dates as well. But I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on with COVID. I don't know how long it's taking everything, but it's nice that we got some release dates for here. The Flash is also on there. Season 7 begin filming October 1st. Is this the end of the Flash? Do you think that How many seasons do you think there's left after this? It's not going to make 10, I don't think. Oh no, Travis froze up again. Okay, well, I'll go on. Hey, there he is.
I'm back.
Do you think Flash is going to make 10 episodes or 10 seasons?
Oh God,
It's
no! I don't
starting
think.
7 right now.
No, I don't. Just
You
from
don't?
listening to Grant Gustin talk about and Steven, it's not an easy gig, people. It really isn't.
Mm-hmm.
And Flash has been getting progressively worse every season
Mm-hmm.
compared to the season before. It's just I completely can see him going out probably in season 9, so we can say I had the most seasons
Right.
out of every DC CW show.
Question. Say the Flash doesn't. I mean, obviously, in the next, I think within the next 2 seasons max, it's going to be done, like you were saying. Say in 3 years, the Flash has been done for a year, and they want to use Grant Gustin as a cameo for a multiverse in a movie. You think it still happens?
Yes, but I don't see why. If you're making him already in this Flash movie upcoming, because if he does 2 more seasons of the Flash, well, 3, season 7, season 8, and season 9, then that's 3 years at least, maybe
That's
more
true.
like
Yeah, I guess
4.
timeline works
So
out. Yeah.
he can still hit that up. But if you're talking about after he's retired and a year later they come and ask him to go back for a movie or a TV appearance, yes, that's totally possible as well.
So he'll be forever be the Barry Allen of this, I guess.
No, just for
Right.
One Earth, just One Earth for
Yeah.
DCCW because
Well, I mean the television
yeah,
series,
well,
but
Ezra Miller is Barry Allen, so
yeah, that's true. I guess he was on TV. He was on the television show as well.
yeah.
So yeah, okay, gotcha. And then let's see, Legends of Tomorrow, season 6 begins filming October 5th. So it looks like we got 3 DC CW shows beginning from beginning to middle to late October. All they're getting their bubble fired up.
Yeah, I never thought we would say Legends would be on a season 6,
And I hear from
especially
a
when
lot
they
of people
change.
it's one of the most fun shows, right? Or at least it was. I haven't like I said,
It
I never got into
was, it
Legends.
was
Okay.
the last season, and since Phil Klemmer took over as EP, I've noticed that the show hasn't been as good. That may be just me in general, but I that's how I feel. The way they treated Brandon Routh and how they made him exit the role in the show. Not very happy with that, especially he was openly not happy with it. So yeah, uh, still surprised I got there, but Legends going strong, and I'm glad. I love Ensemble Cast, and like I said, more additions to DCCW for me, the better. And we got all those shows updated, but we didn't get an update exactly when Supergirl is coming back, which is funny, Greg, because we got some news this week as well that Supergirl's 6th season will be the last. And just before we even discuss this, I gotta say I've seen too much, way too many headlines and videos of people saying Supergirl was canceled. We don't know that for sure yet. We don't know why the show is ending. That's like I've seen why Arrow was canceled. Arrow wasn't canceled. The actor didn't want to do the role anymore. They ended the show. It wasn't canceled. They didn't. If they could have. If they wanted to do. If the actor wanted to do another season, they would have done another season. They would have kept making Arrow episodes. They
So
did.
let me ask you, people making a big deal about this, it's really just semantics, right? It's just words. Because isn't being canceled and the show stopping, isn't that the difference
No,
between like
no,
quitting
no.
and being fired?
Cancels being you failed. Like you're
Yeah,
not
so
good
it's like
enough
being
anymore.
fired.
But
Yeah.
now, like Arrow could have went on and done season 9, season 10. Like it was still good. Like it wasn't cancelable for that reason. Like it wasn't cancelable because of quality.
Okay.
It was cancelable because the main actor, who is the title character, didn't want to fly back and forth from Vancouver to LA anymore after doing it for 9 years. And he had a like 6-year-old for 4-year-old daughter. So completely understandable. And same thing here.
Selfish.
Melissa Benoist just gave birth to a kid. She only just recently, I want to say in the last couple days, day or two, shared the first photo of him. And I only think it was his hand, like his
Yeah.
finger touching. So uh, still really private, but I can understand that completely. Like
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I know here in my country, you have if you're a woman and you have a kid, even if your company doesn't offer it here, the government you get a full year of maternity leave. regardless.
Don't think it's like that here, but I've never had maternity leave. So
It's not.
I'm not
Spoiler
sure
alert.
yet.
Spoiler alert. It's not.
Yeah. Don't think
If
it's
your
like that
company, if your company doesn't pick up the buck, spoiler alert, your government's not coming. So, yeah. So I can see why she would want to take time off to be with the kid. Like, especially she's had a pretty, if we're being honest, like pretty big roller coaster of the last like 3 or 4 years because she
Right.
was in quite the abusive relationship before her now husband.
hmm
I'm sure that she told us shared a story where she went on Jimmy Kimmel and she had her significant other at the time like threw a phone at her and her eye was all messed up and she had to say like make up a big story and I watched it of her making up the big story. I couldn't believe after knowing the context, like being like, wow, I can't believe she told that
Right.
it accidentally happened when she was playing with her dog. So yeah, like she's been through a lot. So I've enjoyed the show. It's not my favorite. It's not
hmm
my least favorite. I really enjoyed season 1 and season 2. I think they added too many characters and tried to make it like a Team Flash thing,
Right.
and some characters suffered, like Martian Manhunter, like got progressively worse and ridiculous to a point where he was. I would laugh at how they would like disable him and let Supergirl save the day
Yeah.
every episode. Like it was like, oh look, there's a little patch of fire there, and he just falls down when he was like there was big explosions going around in like a minute before that. So
Yeah.
it just I and Lex Luthor was amazing, Greg. John Cryer as Lex Luthor was fantastic for me. When he came in, he saved the 4th season because they were spinning their tires, and he was really good. And I haven't finished the final 4 episodes of season 5 yet, so I will get on that eventually. But I will watch season 6, and I will thank Melissa Benoist because she has done the exact same thing that Stephen Amell done, the exact same thing Grant Gustin done, which is carry a show for at least 6 seasons
Probably longer than
and
it should have been. Yeah.
like just she right now is Supergirl, just
Mm-hmm.
like Stephen Amell right now is Green Arrow.
Mm-hmm.
So like their performances will last. And anyone go back and watch season 1 of Supergirl because it is some of the best stuff in DCCW collection.
That was when it was on ABC, or was it
CBS.
CBS?
Yeah,
And then was season 2 the one with the White Martians?
it
Or
went
was
to
that
yeah,
3?
it went to CW.
Yeah, but I'm trying to think when I really started watching. I think it was like because I didn't really watch season 1. I think I started watching when it came to White Martians.
I think
It
season
was
2 was White Martian.
Yeah, I think it was at the beginning of 2. Liked it pretty good.
I don't have the Supergirl
The
knowledge
knowledge.
of that I do
Yeah.
Arrow and Flash because I haven't rewatched those episodes near like I don't even think I have rewatched Supergirl episodes maybe
Yeah.
once or twice the first couple seasons but
I'll give you a reason to now. You know.
oh yeah I'm same thing with Batwoman. I'm gonna end up knocking these shows out, but it's sad. Especially there's another thing that really grinds my gears because they didn't know this
Love hearing you say that.
and they spent so much time in the Crisis crossover. Why don't they like at least 20 minutes of Supergirl and Batwoman being together and doing things, and Kate and Kara being together and doing things, and like slowly going out of the way to be like, here's where DCCW is going post Green Arrow and Flash being together, and now both those actors who played those characters are gone. So it just grinds my gears because that could have been time they used to have more Barry and Oliver in the
Right.
show, in the crossover together, considering they started the crossovers. But whatever. If I start ranting on DCCW, I'll never stop. So,
Yeah. Well,
yeah,
real
really
quick.
excited. And congrats to Melissa Benoist for 6 seasons.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. And real quick question too. I know you talking about John Cryer. You really liked him, really liking him as Lex Luthor. I haven't really experienced him. I didn't watch any of it since he's been introduced as Lex Luthor, and I only saw him really in the crossover. I have a hard time seeing it because I haven't seen him do any of the role. I just saw a little brief part, and when I see him, I don't see Lex Luthor. But isn't he coming over to?
I don't know. That is a question I haven't seen any news about that yet. I would assume if Travis was doing the like Kevin Feige and all, Travis would have Lex Luthor come in at the end of season 1 of Supergirl, at the end of season 1 of Superman and Lois, and have him being either the money behind season one's villain, or being controlling season one villain, or having something to do with season one's villain, so that he's tied in and they move forward with season two with Lex being like a main adversary.
Okay.
You can't squander, but basically, Greg, you can't squander this casting.
Right.
Like, it's kind of like Manu Bennett after Arrow season two. Well, yeah, it's basically squandering man. They should have Manu Bennett back more from season two to season 6.
I agree.
And
I
they
agree with
didn't.
that one.
So I
Yeah.
think it's the same thing here. Same thing would apply here.
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, like I said, I'll give it an opportunity, and I hope that it does cross over, because otherwise I'll never get to see him as Lex Luthor. And apparently he did an amazing job, so I'm ready to see it. But
We're going to take a quick break for our podcast listeners for just shortly. We still have some more news to get through, but I think this is as good a time as any to take a break. Yeah, that's right, listeners. I'm the one introducing the breaks.
Hey,
we mix it up. We mix
right
it
on
up when
top,
we
yeah.
do it live.
That's right. That's right. Doing it live, totally different.
Do you know how much I just got to say, do you know how much I'm fighting to do the Bill O'Reilly quote
Do it
from
live.
Yeah, want to do it so bad, but
Yeah.
no.
I hear. All right. Well, hey, you picked it, man. That's a good time. Not recording on this one. I can't see any time, so I'm just going to write down after Supergirl chat. We'll go and take a break, and folks, we'll be right back. And we're back. How crazy is that? Magic. I went to go write times down. There's nothing there, but yeah, like you said, man, we got a little bit of news left, and I think the last two news topics kind of work into each other. So let me pull up what I have here of, well, my computer screen will work. Pull up what I have here of the Zack Snyder information we wanted to talk about. And, we could have talked about this in Super Civil Servants the other day, and we may start doing that. We break that kind of stuff into and just talk about it more deep here. But we definitely wanted to talk about all this Zack Snyder stuff going on. I know there is a before we get into the new cuts and the news with that, I did want to bring up this article from Screen Rant about you sent it to me from Screen Rant about Snyder fans raising over $250,000 for suicide squad prevention so far, which is an absolutely amazing accomplishment. Absolutely fantastic to hear. If anything good could come out of the situation, that was it. And, to every fan who's contributed, to everybody who's been involved with this, thank you, because that's an amazing number, man. I mean, $250,000 doesn't sound like a ton of money, but the more I think about $250,000, I'm like, yeah, I could definitely do some good with that stuff. So, what do you think,
just
man?
very impressive, Greg. That's one of the backbones of the movement, is helping out charity like that, and it's something that everybody can come around, like, trying to think of the best, come together. Yeah, sorry. Everyone come together because you've experienced it in your life, whether it be co-worker, whether it be friend, whether it be family member, somebody have gone through this. So in most of the time, it's people that don't reach out for help or can't reach out for help. So this money is going to help save lives, and that is the most important thing, regardless of how good the movie is.
Oh, you cut out. Bad time to cut out. You cut out. I can see you talking. I can see your lips moving up, and now you're frozen. Anyway, adding to what he's saying there until he gets back. Yeah, it was saying that at the beginning of the year, by beginning of January this year, there was $156,615 raised, which means that just since January, it's already been almost $100,000 raised, which is pretty phenomenal. Sorry, you're back, T-Bone.
I'm back.
Go back into what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just impressive. That's all. People deserve to be applauded, and regardless of the infighting in the movement, you can look at this and be like, this is something that everybody should be proud of.
100% agree, man. Excuse me. That ties us right into the rest of our Snyder news. You want to bring that up?
Yeah. Part of me don't. I'm not even gonna. Actually, I am. It really grinds my gears because Zack Snyder planning new Justice League shoot should be the only thing that we're talking about. But in most of these articles, they say Zack Snyder is planning new Justice League shoot amid Ray Fisher claims or amid Ray Fisher investigation or something like that. Which,
you cut off again. We can see your face. Let's cut off again. Yeah, going into what he's saying is there. He's absolutely right. This should be the only thing we're hearing about is him bringing in this new dog. But of course, there's got to throw drama into it, and they bring up everything with Ray Fisher. You're back. Go ahead, continue. I was trying to
I'm
finish your
so
story there.
I'm going to call my internet service provider tomorrow and burn it to the ground because this is the second time this week that this has happened. I don't like it at all. Really
No good.
frustrating.
No good. Anyway, keep going. You were talking about Zack Snyder
Yeah,
and it
so
might be interrupted with Ray Fisher.
Snyder is coming back to do additional shooting, but yeah, I thought it was really low class by Scoopy Pants, Umberto, and even Boris Kit to throw this in there to basically add some extra words to your word count for your article. If you want to, like, I heard Brent from
Cut off again. You heard Brent from something. I don't know what it is, man. You just keep cutting out. So I'm just gonna keep talking until you come back. There, look. Oh, you froze. Now you're about to be back in a second, I'm sure. Usually, there you are.
every time I mention Brent, everything goes to crap.
Yeah.
I'll say it last time, and I'm not going to say it anymore. I heard Brent on Fans Without Borders say, if you want to attach a link to an old article about Ray Fisher and everything about that, that is fine. But to throw it in there as part of the headline and to add it into an article, it's low class in my opinion. So yeah. Anyway, we're not going to talk about that. We're not even going to focus even any bit at all on that. Zack Snyder's coming back. Ben Affleck, Henry Cavill, Gal Gadot. Greg, are you excited?
You're damn right. I'm excited, man. Are you kidding me? Having all them back, like, here's my question about it. They've already given us a runtime. Does this change that runtime? Like, were they anticipating this reconnection of these characters and these guys coming back to reshoot these scenes in the runtime they gave us, or is this now? Well, here you can have a little extra, film these scenes you want to, build this connective tissue, and if they say I can't remember the exact time they said it was before, but maybe it adds an extra
4 hours.
Was it 4 hours exactly?
Yeah.
Okay.
4 1-hour episodes.
Well, maybe it adds an extra 5 minutes to each episode.
Well, I don't think that's the chance of that happening, Greg. But I because it's already given. I think there's 3 possibilities I've heard for why they're getting back together to do these.
Mm-hmm.
Either to film like connecting elements and connecting tissue between the episodes because this was filmed as a movie and it wasn't intended as an episode, so they're going to try to film like connections between episode 1 leading into episode 2. That's one thing. The other thing I've heard is tease.
Oh, you cut off with the other thing you've heard. I think that it's 100% that, though. I don't know what the other 2 things you're going to say are when you come back, but I think it's 100% that it's just the connective tissue between the movies. I don't even know if you're necessarily going to get Ben in the bat suit and Gal in her outfit. And,
so angry.
Yeah. Continue. You got your first point out. I'll walk you in the second one. What's the second point?
Either they're going to film, like I said, a tease for the future, or they're going to film a conclusion, and that is it. Like the conclusion to it in that movie, and that'll be the one-off. I don't think that, because I don't think you invest $70 million in a one-off thing like that, like to get people back, because you don't know how much they're paying each of these actors, but just to see them come back, you know how much they must love Zack Snyder and working with him, right. Especially this is 4 years ago now. So,
What's the third one? You said you had 3, right?
That was the conclusion, and
the
tease to an episode, season 2 or 3, and 3, like season 2, a tease to season 2. Or the third possibility is conclusion, wrapping things up after this miniseries.
Gotcha. Well, I was talking about this before because I don't know if you can hear me whenever your sound goes out.
I can always hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good deal.
So I can follow along. So you keep going.
Okay. Well, what'd you think? How much time do you think we're going to get of them in the suits, or do you think this is going to be more?
I don't know. This could be anything. This could just be like additional audio and you already have some scenes where you can rework it, or you could just shoot it straight up, because what he already said in Justice Con, I'd rather burn the film to the ground than use anything that I haven't shot. So
think he said 1 fucking frame. I think
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah, it was
but
pretty intense. Yeah.
and also he didn't get a chance to do any pickups because the additional photography that would have been done with his version of the film didn't get to happen because he left the project.
Right.
So he didn't get to do any pickups like we'll say Martian Manhunter. He wanted to do that scene, the pickup scene of like if he needed him and he never got him. So that wasn't a thing. I guess he was busy at the time. So I'm really interested to see, Greg, how many people who's going to be on set. Are all the main members, because we didn't see anything but Jason Momoa or Ezra Miller on there. We've seen Ray Fisher, Gal Gadot, Henry Cavill, and Ben Affleck. And I just thought nothing else makes me more happy than the fact that Ben Affleck will come back to do it.
Yes.
Like, this is just second thing now where he said, yeah, I'll come back to be Batman again. I think he realized how much people really love his Batman. And it's just a freaking crime to me that we haven't seen him versus Deathstroke. And Joe Manganiello is such a great casting for that role too. I just want to get that miniseries so bad. I'd give anything.
Yeah. I think honestly, him coming back as Batman just now twice for this is kind of proof that maybe Whedon was the poison of the group. You know, maybe whatever was going on there was because it almost seems like now he didn't ever want to give up being Batman, but he felt like he had to.
Well, there's a lot of problems. Apparently, some people say he butted head with Jeff Johnson. There was a lot of rumors of him trying to start a walkout with when Josh Whedon was running it. I just know, please give me that series. Like anybody, whoever's responsible for that, whoever makes those calls, you can have one kid from each member of the Geek Ultimate Alliance network that has multiple kids. I won't take any that has, like, if you got one kid, we won't sacrifice that kid to get the Batman. Like we won't send them to the farm to work for the rest of their lives. But the other kids, I'm sorry, I would give them up. I love you guys. I'm just kidding, being crazy here. But Ben Affleck coming back is a big deal to me. Like, I can't believe that he's agreeing to be in the Flash movie and this. Like, this is something that he went on Jimmy Kimmel and literally took his cowl and raised it to the rafters.
Yeah, and retired it basically.
And retired. He said, "I'm not Batman." So,
well, we're actually having a good conversation in the chat room about it right now. The Truth's talking about the Truth 31 says Affleck is back in Batman shape and he looks great, which is great to hear.
He is right.
Yeah,
yes,
that's great to hear.
You know what? He's saying the truth right there. He's stating the truth. Oh my God, that was so corny, but I couldn't help it. I had to. It was. He's right.
Well, him and Indiana Jones are talking about watching the movie The Way Back and how great of a story it was and how great they did.
I think Indiana Jones is Chris. I'm pretty sure.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't see the picture. It may be. Yeah.
Oh my God, Chris, selling you so short there. Like, who's this Indiana Jones guy?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't know. There could be more than one Indiana Jones fan in the world. That's all I'm saying.
Well, yeah.
They did raise a good point in the chat too, and I wanted to bring this up. I know we don't know anything about this yet, but we did have a small conversation about it today. Mr. Cavill and his return as Superman. Now we heard brief rumblings about this from an unconfirmed source, but nothing else since then, correct?
Yes, we haven't heard anything since then.
Okay, so there's no real verification that it's actually happening, even though we think, us as Snyder fans really feel like it is. But then there was news today about the possibility of him playing Bond, and he even commented on that, talking about how he would love to play the character, correct?
Yeah, line, same thing. Idris Elba said the exact same thing. Anyone who's asked if you want to play Bond, who would want to play James Bond?
Exactly. Now, the question we posed in our chat room today, in the Geek Ultimate Alliance chat today was, if he were to sign as Bond, does that kill any chances he has of being Superman? Like, because I don't mind him being Bond as long as he stays Superman. I want to be Superman before Bond.
See, now you're poaching some of Snell's potential Patreon discussions for our own podcast discussions, Greg. Are you trying to start a rivalry with like you've been bashing Marvel Alliance like on the sly every once in a while, like little shady digs every once in a while, and Greg is on his own on this one.
All
Greg is
right.
on his own.
Well, I'll tell you what. Let's save that question then. That's anybody who's listening right now that actually heard that. Go check out our Patreon. You can get the exclusive stuff, and we're going to answer that question. I didn't realize that was the exact question he was wanting to say.
Yeah,
there,
he
but
wanted to discuss that, but I will say on here, people need to do some research and like look up all the movies that Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone starred in the 80s and 90s. Like it was,
they were in a lot.
they were in everything. And
But
they had
Dolph Lundgren was in a little bit there
no,
too,
no,
wasn't
Dolph Lundgren was like
he? He was in competition with Schwarzenegger for.
No, like you got Schwarzenegger and Stallone up here. They got offered every movie, Greg. Anything and everything would lead a male action star. And then under them where you had your John Claude Van Damme's and your Bruce Willis, and even Tom Cruise started to get there by like early 90s to mid 90s. So there was a couple more. I'm sure I'm forgetting some. Wesley Snipes, blanking on other ones, but there were a few action stars. But the two that rose to the top were Stallone and Schwarzenegger. They were making the most. They were getting the most salary. They were in direct competition. Like Stallone took movies solely because he thought Arnold Schwarzenegger was. So yeah, they're pretty mega famous. But we were having a discussion that it was that compared to The Rock. They were saying The Rock was special, like unique, and I'm just like, no, he's just a continuation of the machine. That's all.
I hear you. Sorry, they're talking LeBron James trash in the chat room right now. Had to answer to that. We'll talk to him after the finals is over, see what happens. But yeah, man, I agree with you that they were probably the two top biggest action stars at that time. That they were in just about everything. I mean, like you said, even the range of the stuff that Schwarzenegger was in was just shows you what kind of that they just wanted him. You know, he was
basically playing like after Predator, it got very similar in the people that he was playing, like the characters. It was like, oh, look, Total Recall. Ooh, dude who was in Predator and I was in this movie, and then this.
Let's make him Kindergarten Cop. Twins.
I love Kindergarten Cop.
I love Kindergarten Cop too.
No, this was a live squirrel that we can't edit out because we solely went off of Zack Snyder Justice League additional suits to snowballed into this somehow.
That's how squirrels work. Yep.
Don't even know how. Greg, do you think we could get even more like shooting? Because this is only October. And this is supposed to come out sometime in 2021. You think we can get? You think he?
You cut out. Do you think you can get more shooting and then comes out in October 21 or comes out in 2021 and then you cut out? Hold on. If you keep talking, it'll come back. Yeah, I don't really know what you mean by more shooting, because I guess it would just
another time after this one.
Oh, okay. No, I don't think so. I think that especially with it coming out, if it's October now or about to be October, it's supposed to come out what?
Nobody really knows for sure. A lot of people are thinking like March
or April. I thought, yeah. Okay, and they can always push that back, but no, I don't think they're going to go in and add so much stuff that it's going to push back the dates on when it's coming out.
I'm just not talking about pushing back the dates or anything. I'm talking about like they need to make that. They need to shoot that. I think they do anyway. General Swanwick meeting with Lois when it's really Martian Manhunter.
Yeah.
Well, if he's really take the form of Martha, and then he turns into Swanwick. Then he turns into Martian Manhunter. Then he turns into Swanwick and leaves. That was on the storyboard he showed us. So I'm pretty certain the actor who plays Swanwick has said that he hasn't shot that. So they need to pick that up. And if they're going to add Lois dying, I don't see Amy Adams on the call sheet anywhere, and I don't think they shot that. Maybe they did, but I don't think they did.
You're talking about the True 31's question in the chat room. He's asking if we think if we think that
Dark Side booms into
yeah.
I think so, but Amy Adams isn't on the call sheet there so maybe it would have to be a different pickup, or maybe like you said, he already has a shot. I was
gonna say maybe it's already filmed. Yeah, for all you know,
it could be shot already. Nobody, I don't know anyway. I'd be very interested to see, and I'm just curious. I really hope they just let him do his arc and be done with it. Like, let him do his arc, tell his story, because his story didn't have a continuation on afterwards. His story was concluded.
5-movie film, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's kind of what they're doing right now. I think, right? This is the closest thing we have to it. So, Hey, well, real quick, one more thing on the Snyder stuff. I know right underneath the Zack Snyder stuff, you sent me these Mark Hughes tweets.
Yeah.
Explain those to me about what, like, I don't really
Well,
understand
he was
why.
basically breaking down because uh, there's a lot of since it's public knowledge. I'll read it out. I'll just read his tweet.
Yeah.
Since it's public knowledge now, I can say some things I've not been able to say before. The amount of money spent on Zack Snyder's Justice League isn't a reflection of his original cut being as incomplete as folks used to claim. It's because new footage is being shot beyond just finishing his cut. I should say that one more time because you left at the worst possible time that time. So I'll say it one more time. Uh, it's because new footage is being shot beyond just finishing the cut, his cut. So they're adding stuff. The original Snyder cut we talked about for the past year plus was more than 90% complete and did not need tens of $1 millions to get that cut in shape. The higher dollar amount is because of the work on the film includes re-editing into individual episodes plus new footage. For example, there are certain DC characters originally intended to be in jail, but those scenes weren't filmed and it was dropped at the time. Now, however, those things can be added in as well as other scenes, and it all needs different editing into episodes with the right pacing. So no, the original "it'll take tens of millions of dollars to finish the Snyder Cut" claims were not proven to be true by the budgeting for Zack Snyder's Justice League. The reason some press have claimed we were right all along is because some WB folks were falsely telling press no new scenes will be shot. Yet again, WB pictures going against Zack Snyder's Justice League and the Snyder Cut. Those WB folks may have legitimately thought that was true, by the way, because it appears a lot of folks at the studio are still not always sure about what's up, partly because things are changing and are in flux a lot. So a lot of folks aren't in the loop on everything.
He's basically just breaking everything down, right?
Well, because no, Greg, a lot of people, when this $70 million came out,
Hmm.
all the cockroaches came out from under the like from the shade into the light to say, "I told ya, I needed all kinds of money to finish XR Justice League. Told ya, you're
Hmm.
wrong. It didn't exist. There's no Snyder Cut." And he just broke it down. Like they're adding stuff to it. This is
Right.
why he
Right. So
didn't
it
need 70
existed.
million.
Yeah. For all those
Yes, well,
people
he
say it
didn't
didn't
need.
exist, it existed.
And they're like, they need 70 million to finish this. No, he didn't. He didn't need that much at all. He needs that money to pay the actors to come for additional photography, to pay the people on sets, to pay it for everything. It's
Right.
not just like it frustrates me when people are jackasses for no reason, just to be just. If you don't like this, if you don't like Zack Snyder's,
You cut out. I like when you cut out how you get closer to the microphone. Like you think maybe you're too far away from it. Now you froze. You'll be back in a second, but that is funny to watch. So you cut out and you'll get closer to the microphone. Um, nope, there you are. I can't hear you, but I can see you moving again.
you can see me.
I can hear you now.
Yeah, I'm just saying people saying that Zack Snyder's Justice League like wasn't completed or didn't like would take so much money is all lies. And if you, like I said, if you don't like Zack Snyder's work, you don't have to watch this.
Right.
And if you do watch this,
You cut out again. I think you were going to say if you do watch this and you don't like it, then fuck off, or just don't complain about it. Just go do something else. That's what I would say to people. So if you don't like it, you don't have to watch it. That's what I think. But
I wouldn't even say
shaking your
that,
head.
Greg. I would say basically I would say if you don't like it, you can say that wasn't for me. I didn't enjoy it, and you can even say why. But don't spend 3 years talking about through the next 3 years after it talking about how much you hated it.
Right. I think a lot of those people, once this comes out, who have spent so long in just saying, no, it doesn't exist. No, it's so stupid. Stop this, blah, blah, blah. I think they're going to kind of quieten down after this actually comes out because not necessarily that their minds are going to change and they like it, because I think some people are just going to go in hating it and they're not going to like it no matter how good it is because they don't want to be wrong. But I think that it'll be one of those things where I can argue about it, but ultimately I was wrong about everything I was saying, so I should just shut the hell up.
But
I think it's where a lot of people are going to be.
I just don't understand the unnecessary hate. Like, Zack Snyder gets way too much hate. It's crazy for no reason. It doesn't even like he's just mind his own business. Who cares if you don't like what he puts out there? That's fine. but I don't unnecessarily crapping on the man, tagging the man and stuff when you're shitting on him. It's also I don't like Superman Returns. Never enjoyed it. I don't go into anybody's mentions that like Superman Returns and tell them how crappy the movie is. I don't talk about how crappy the movie is now. I just I moved on.
Leave it be. That's right.
It's just, and if somebody enjoys it, I'm not going to try and ruin that for them.
Right. I mean, that's all you can do, man. And then that's just the difference, I guess, between us and them.
Yeah.
Type deal. So, all right, man. Well, you got anything else you want to say about Snyder?
Excited. Can't wait for news. And I watched Zack Snyder Justice League reactions on the regular. And I've seen a couple people now that have had the same reaction that I had in our Geekverse reaction, which was complete shock, not saying nothing for the entire thing, because that was me. And after it was over, like I kind of got a little emotional, welled up a little bit, like had to like kind of turn away for a second from the chat. I was like, I don't want, yeah, that's okay for now.
See, I'm not great for reaction videos because I generally I'll get blown away by something, but like I spend more time focusing on what I'm, and then afterwards I try to take everything in and I start to freak out about it. But yeah,
I'm Greg in the memes. I'm Greg in the memes.
Hey, that's a good meme. I said that'll put us on the map right there and make us famous. But all right, well, I'll tell you what, we got a couple of show questions that we need to get to, but before we do that, let's go ahead and take our last break, and then we'll knock the show questions out and roll out of here. Sound good?
You got it.
All right. Well, let me write this down so that way after Snyder. All right, folks. So we'll be right back. And we're back. There we go. So once again, if you're watching along live with us, you get to see that podcast magic. It's always fun.
We should do something like Wayne's World, like diddle-a-doo, diddle-a-doo, diddle-a-doo.
Yeah.
Make the screen go wavy.
Yeah.
Get on that, dude. Get on that, dude. Come on.
Well, I had the fairy, the pixie sound, the sound for Super Civil Servants the other day when we went into it. Remember, it was the bling.
Would that be better than a diddle-a-doo, diddle-a-doo, diddle-a-doo?
No, not even a week. I just didn't download that sound.
I would have been so sad if you said that. If you said yes, I would have been like, oh, you just broke my heart. I don't know if we can podcast together anymore.
No. All right, cool. Well, let's get to some fan questions then. I
have Mr. Snell's right here, ready to go.
Go ahead and knock that one out, and I'll look up Eric's real quick.
Okay. Well, what surprise? I was going to say, what did he ask me? Okay. So, what surprises you more? His tweet is, "I still don't know what's crazier: rated R Joker at number 3, or Aquaman being the biggest DC film of all."
For me, I think it's got to be Aquaman being the biggest film, and I think it's only because we didn't the films I would have thought would have made more money than that. Obviously, Justice League. I think that maybe a Batman solo movie with Ben Affleck might have made more than that, but it's just because that direction it got screwed, or it kind of got chopped up before it ever got the chance to make that money. The fact that Aquaman is number 1 is kind of crazy. A really good movie. I really enjoyed that movie, but it's not one that I've gone back and watched over and over again, like Man of Steel and BVS and everything else. It's in the same continuity, and it's very, very enjoyable. But I think it's because it was just something new. I mean, it's the first time in either franchise they've gone into any kind of water, right? So it was something we hadn't seen before. It was groundbreaking in that aspect. Had some really great scenes, like the trench scene, which stood out really well. And as far as I understand it still has the ability, or still going to have its own movie or series, correct? Trench scene.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's lots of in there, but I think it's still the most surprising to me that naturally, when you put it into a world where you think you have Wonder Woman, Batman, Superman, and a Justice League movie, you would think automatically that would be the number 1. But we all know the reason why that wasn't, and I feel like if maybe Snyder's vision was in there, that it could have been. But no disrespect to Aquaman at all. Great movie. So, and Joker, rated R Joker being number 3 doesn't surprise me. I've always been in love with this character. I think Snell, you have too. Who asked this question? You have too. I think that both of us have thought probably our entire lives that if you give me a great Joker performance, there's no reason it can't make a ton of a ton of money. I think it being number 3 on the all-time list, though, as far as gains go, is surprising. But maybe it just spoke to people differently. Maybe it was the superhero movie they needed to see that wasn't a superhero movie, which is what it was. So, what about you, man?
Big shout out.
Cut out. You said big shout out and then cut out. Get closer to your mic. Hold on, you froze. So as soon as you freeze, it takes a second, and then your audio comes back. So we're almost there, I think.
Big shout out number 5.
There you go.
Big shout out number 5.
Okay. Big shout out number 5. Which one's number 5? I wasn't looking at the list. You cut out again. See? New technology, folks. Nope. Still can't hear you. Oh, there you are.
I can't.
Oh, you cut out again. Okay. So I'm not sure exactly what he's trying to say. He's saying number 5. I'm going to go back and find Snell's list here. I'm sure he probably means number 5 is one of those movies I mentioned that I thought should have been or would have been over the top of those. You're back.
Just audio working?
Just audio's working, yeah.
Okay. Well, number 5 was BVS.
Okay.
Being a little.
I mean, that makes sense. You know, I personally, I felt like that would have made more, you know, but it just didn't resonate well with a lot of fans for some reason at that point in time. I don't know why. I absolutely loved it. I can't remember how many times I saw it in theaters, but it's my all-time favorite movie. It's a masterpiece. Absolutely
2.5
amazing.
hours. It was 2.5 hours of a 3-hour movie.
Mm-hmm.
That's why.
It keeps Indiana Jones just keeps Shazam out of the sequence in the boardroom. The truth saying, Aquaman is definitely more family friendly. Yeah, I think that could be part of it too. The movie is a little more family friendly, which surprised me that Shazam wasn't higher. You know, because I think Shazam was even more family friendly than Aquaman. But who knows?
No, come on, Shazam was packed, sandwiched between Captain Marvel and Endgame.
Sure, bad timing.
Or Infinity War. One of those two. Can't remember. But
you're killing me. Killing me, Smalls. Something's not set up right. It's probably something on my end, I'm sure. I'm not sure what's going on. Maybe you should call your cable service provider, your internet provider. But all right, so I'm gonna wait for him to come back.
Aquaman.
There you go. He's back.
Aquaman will get my vote, but I'm going to advocate just for Joker a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Budget was $55 million. Rated R movie, became the highest grossing rated R movie of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Not even about a superhero at all. Not about a villain that doesn't do. There isn't much.
Cut out again. Yeah, you're right. It's not about a superhero villain. I agree with you on that. It really just is about a person, and it's very open ended the way it leaves the end of that movie, The Joker. Where I don't know if they're talking about Joker, him being the Joker, or him, you know, the Joker being a disease, a sickness you have. I think we've discussed that before a couple of times. They did a good job leaving it like that, so they can write future stories and still involve this with it. So. You back? Not yet. Okay. Well, I'll continue to flounder here then. Let's see. I wish
you don't need to flounder because I'm switching internet tomorrow. I'm switching internet service providers tomorrow. I'm so frustrated here. Yeah. Greg, Joker, $55 million budget, made highest grossing movie, R-rated movie of all time. No superheroes, no action, just a character study.
Mm-hmm.
Can't believe it. Blows my mind every time I think about it as being number 3. But Aquaman being the highest grossing DC movie of all time is bonkers. Yeah. Doesn't make any sense, like at all. Joker's more well known than Aquaman. It blows my mind.
See, well, okay, I'll give you Joker is more well known than Aquaman, but this gets back into that argument that I have with a bunch of MCU people about them saying, well, nobody knew who Iron Man and Hulk and Captain America was. I'm like, yes, people did know who they were. Just like people knew who Aquaman was. You may not be as familiar with their backstory, their lore, their names, anything like that, but you know who they are. So when you say a character like Aquaman, or like I get into a debate with a lot of people with MCU and, you know, Iron Man and Captain America, yeah, you may not know about it, but I guarantee if I went to my mom before any of these movies came out and asked her who Iron Man was, she could at least tell me what Iron Man was, and she's probably never picked up a comic a day in her life, you know?
I don't know, but Captain America, yes, I'll never do. Iron Man, if I asked my mom who Iron Man is now after the MCU movies come out, she wouldn't be able to tell me.
Okay, well, and it could be different for other people. Like I said, it's just my theory, but I just don't feel like these. I feel like these characters are more well known than people make it out to be. I think when people almost gatekeep when they say, well, if you don't know their name or anything about their origin, if you only know who the character is, then you don't know the character. I'm like, well, no, you know who the character is. Like, it's not like they're if they
You
were to
just don't know
introduce
all the versions. You just don't know.
exactly, it's like if
Everybody
they were
got
to
a
introduce
version.
Moon Knight. Okay, Moon Knight's gonna have a movie. Okay, that's somebody that I believe most people, unless you read comics, you probably have never heard of this character before ever. That's somebody I would believe, you know. But I don't know. For me, I feel like Aquaman is a well enough known character, and honestly, because Aquaman was picked on for so long,
Oh yeah,
you
even
know.
like I think about Big Bang Theory. Nobody wants to be Aquaman. Then I think about it. I would love to see those guys say that to Jason Momoa and see
Right.
what he would do.
Yeah.
Put him in a garbage can probably.
Mhm.
But no, Greg, I agree with you. I couldn't. I agree with you on this too. Aquaman is just Aquaman's hard than Batman or Superman. So just crazy time.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, let's see. We got one question from Eric from Legendary Bearded Geek. Let me see if I can find his question here. Okay. He listened to the World's Finest True Believers that me and Mr. Balga did on White Knight. And he says, based on that White Knight episode of World's Finest True Believers, if you could pick the voice actors for an animated film of White Knight, who would you choose for Batman and the Joker?
Can I ask you one question first?
Sure.
Will you answer it regardless?
Would
Will you answer it truthfully regardless?
I don't know what you're talking about. So yeah.
Okay. What's the date on the tweet or direct message?
September 13th, 2020. Wow.
Just wanted to torment you because it was a couple weeks. He's been waiting a couple weeks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
oh yeah.
I'm just being a shithead here.
I see. And I told him to. He even asked me, he's like, can I send you a DM here and you'll remember it? And I was like, yeah, I'll remember it. And of course, no, I didn't remember. My bad, Eric. Sorry, I already apologized to him. You know, he gave me a virtual punch, but
Eric cut Gramps some slack.
Yeah.
You know, just watch it. Just be thankful he's not pocket dialing you on the regular.
Hey, who pocket dialed who the other day?
Yeah, tell him where I was coming out of. Now we'll see who's cool and who's not. I was coming out of a certain store that you don't
Right.
even have. So
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
like 11 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. And as soon as I saw you pocket dial me, I was like, oh, that's son of a bitch. I was like, I'm gonna text him like, you just pocket dial me, Gramps, because he always does it to me whenever I pocket dial him 6 times a week. So but his question, he's asking basically if they're doing an animated series, who would you cast as the voice actors for White Knight or for Batman and the Joker? This is not really in my wheelhouse because I'm not as big with the voice actors. But I know you can give a great answer, so I'll give something easy. Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill, 2 people I know have done Batman and Joker before that are really good. So that's what I'd go with. But you?
No, see that if you're going for legacy and going for your number one choice, you would have to pick Mark Hamill and Kevin Conroy. Like that's a given. But some you're gonna watch in the next week or two. You heard some people. Pretty sure Nathan said to you like this was the animated movie. The Under Red Hood is like one of the best animated movies ever.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, I think you said it to me a couple times too. Yep.
So you're going to
make your top 5 list.
There's like Bruce Greenwood is very good as Batman. He does the voice in Young Justice as well.
Okay.
For Batman,
I can live with that voice.
He's very good.
Yeah.
Jason O'Mara is another one that we're very familiar with. He was in the New 52 as Batman for the entire run. He was very good as well. And I think John DiMaggio has a very interesting, kind of wacky, kind of crazy take on the Joker in Under Red Hood. And I think you're really going to enjoy it. It's different. It's just something different than what we're used to hearing. And that would get that would probably get my vote if it would be Bruce Greenwood and to both of them back from Under the Red Hood. Okay. John DiMaggio and Bruce Greenwood.
I can see that. I mean, you know, like I said, I don't know a whole lot about the voice actors. I'd like to say that I'd like to see somebody that I've never heard before play the role, but if you've never heard them before, you don't know how they're going to perform with it. So it's a little different with voice acting than it is with regular acting, I suppose. But you know, you just got to have that gritty, growly kind of voice for Batman. You got to have the deepness in there, and it's just got to. I think that you could have a lot of people that have already done Batman before that I would like to see. Like if you're talking about whoever did on Young Justice, that's a great Batman voice. The difference is the Batman and the White Knight, the look of them is different than most Batman that I've seen in a lot of comics, you know? So I would imagine the voice to be a little different. And realistically, it's not really the Joker in this. It's Napier. I mean, you see a little bit of Joker, but it's Napier, and I'd be more interested to see who you're going to play, like Harley Quinn and Neo Joker's voice too.
I tell you,
if you're gonna do that.
there's two other choices that I would make. I would put Peter Weller in as Batman Bruce Wayne, who
Okay.
did it in The Dark Knight Returns Part 1 and Part 2.
Okay.
He, I don't know if you know that name offhand, Greg, but he is a very famous character of all time in RoboCop. He is RoboCop.
I got you. Okay.
Yeah, and he was such great voice in that film that you're that's another one we're gonna have to watch. Dark Knight Returns Part 1 and Part 2.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, it's great.
You've seen that, okay?
Mhm.
And Michael Emerson does Joker there. I thought he done a just different, interesting take on Joker that I really enjoyed. So yeah, there's several choices there. If you had to, like I said, if you had to force me to choose, I would pick both Batman and Joker from Under the Red Hood.
It's a good choice. Thinking about it now, like I'm trying to think about Napier's attitude in White Knight, and just think about a voice in my head that could resonate with that. This may sound crazy, but I could actually see Jesse Eisenberg playing a good Napier in that situation. Just thinking about his BVS voice as Luthor, just kind of tweak that a little bit. I could see him doing that voice really well, and it'd be very believable. But I'm not sure. Once again, I'm not very good at voice casting.
That's interesting.
So, but that was our only two questions, man.
Yeah.
So we did it. We
Pretty
knocked
good
out the
trial
news.
run. Pretty good trial run there, sir.
Yeah. I mean, a couple bugs in the system. We're gonna get them knocked out. This is
my
the first
internet being one.
Yeah. So I'm sure by Wednesday it'll be fixed. So
either that or Travis will be going from Rogers to Bell. So
there you go. Well, the choice is yours. Cable provider, internet provider. You just got to provide it well. So, well, all right, man. Well, let's go ahead and wrap things up then. Let's head out of here. We got a lot of podcasting to do this week, and we've put out a pretty good show tonight. So, dude, where can they find you if they want to get a hold of you?
You can find me on Twitter at Travis_156. You can drop me a line. We can chat about DC anytime. I co-host 2 shows with Greg. This one, DC Alliance, and Superhero Discussions. Like we talked about a little bit at the start, we have 4 polls out: a Batman poll, team up poll, random poll, and listener poll for all the 4 shows in each poll. Pick your favorite show, then out of the polls, and then all 4 will be put together. 4 winners will be put together, and the winner of that will be what we're recording. I'm thinking it's going to be Batman the Animated Series, but I'm hoping it's going to be Justice League the Animated Series. But now both Batman and Superman the Animated Series happened before Justice League the Animated Series happened, so we probably should watch Batman first. But either that, or I'm really hoping. I don't even know if Rick and Morty's going to be there with Harley Quinn. So what do I know?
Right. Yeah. I mean, and honestly, I've never personally sat down and watched Rick and Morty like religiously. I've seen episodes of it. It'd be fun to cover if I really sat down and pay attention to it. And Harley Quinn, haven't had a chance to watch that one yet, but I know that with superhero discussions and sometime in the future, and yeah, I'm going to be watching it. I only I watched a little bit of it to steal a clip from it for an audio show or an audio clip, and I was just like, oh, I can't believe I haven't been watching this show. It's pretty awesome, but fun stuff. But yeah, check out Mr. Bones' poll.
Apologies for the it's like a little after 1 here.
You're good. All right, well, let me go ahead and hurry up then so we can get to bed, sir. You can find me at the BatDaddy52 on Twitter. That is my personal handle. DMs are open. I'll talk about just about anything. Check me out on this show Tuesday nights, or actually audio drops Tuesday mornings. We record Monday nights. Check me out Friday mornings on Superhero Discussions. Check me out Friday nights on Super Civil Servants. Batman You Complete Me comes once a month. Patreon exclusives run all the time. A guest on Slice of Film. A guest on World's Finest True Believers.
Greg, man.
Post-game shows for C3 Panthers podcast on Sundays.
No.
I wasn't there yesterday because it was my daughter's birthday.
I was very disappointed.
I had an excuse to leave. It was my daughter's birthday.
Wait, the real question: did you watch the football game?
No, I actually didn't watch hardly any of it. I saw we won, but I didn't watch hardly any of it. So I've got it recorded though. I'm going to watch it for tomorrow's show.
You are stand-up dad, sir.
You only turn 10 once, right? The Panthers will lose a lot more in my life. You only turn 10 once. But then you can also check out Tuesdays live on YouTube, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on C3 Panthers podcast. Where we're covering all that stuff. So I'm all over the place, man. Lots of different places to check me out. I'm I might have another thing to unbox this weekend because Mr. Fanboy Clay has sent me something really awesome that I can't wait to show everybody. Just going to I'm working on filling my Marvel wall up right now. So, this is one of my best ones right here. Didn't get to show it off on my show, even though I unboxed it. We couldn't see it.
You can talk to us. You can talk to us when you're howling at a batarang.
Oh, don't worry. The batarangs are on the way. I got the Robin darts and the batarangs on the way. They're gonna be nice. So, but I got to fill up my MCU wall because my DC wall is overflowing with stuff right now. My MCU wall is very, very weak. But anyway, I digress.
Is it the wall with the beer in the corner compared to the wall with all the overflowing DC stuff on the other side? Because
no, that one you see right there was my Panthers wall, but because I'm doing it like this, one side's going to be DC, one side's going to be Marvel, and then all the sports stuff's going to be here in front of me on this side of the wall. So I'm going to display all my geek.
Nice, sir. Very nice.
I just ain't got done moving yet. But all right, man. Well, let's get out of here. We've blabbered on enough here. Folks, give us a like, give us a share, give us a review, tell a friend, check out Patreon, all that good stuff. Give us some feedback. We're always down for show questions. Hit us up. We're both interactive. Until next week, keep pounding.
Later, guys.